Welcome to Backer Pause. What is Backer Pause? Our judges watch crowdfunding videos on air. When they lose interest in a video, for any reason, they hit pause and explain what caused them to experience Backer Pause. This is a fun way to teach creators about attention spans and what works and does not work for their videos. Videos featured from projects that are being advocated for on comicbookadvocates.com with permission. Want to be judge? Have a crowdfunding campaign you want to have on the show? Well, send us an email at comicsnewswire@yahoo.com, and that's comics, C-O-M-I-X. So who wants to play? Warning and disclaimer. The views and opinions expressed on this live feed are those of the guests, speakers, and or hosts, and do not necessarily reflect the beliefs, official policies, ethics, or positions of the content providers, advertisers, additional hosts, and or guests, hosting sites, groups, or entities attached to this programming. Viewer discretion is advised. We have a great guest today with us. The creator of Quicksand is in the house, and he just had an amazing run with Scout Comics with the Recount, and he is clearly capable of multiple titles. So, Jonathan, I mean, you snuck this in on me. I have to admit, we were talking about this before the show. I did not see this one coming, and it's rare. Tell me about it. Fill me in, man.
Yeah, thanks for that intro, Rob. I love the pun. That was very punny. Quicksand's a new sci-fi horror comic book miniseries that I just launched today. It's a cross between Interstellar and Aliens is like my elevator pitch, but essentially a hole in the ground near the Egyptian pyramids opens up one day, and these monsters come crawling out and attack a nearby city. And after they get done attacking, maiming, and killing people, they run quickly back into the hole. And leaders from around the world are like, what was that? Well, what just happened? We need to figure this out in case it ever happens again. So they send these experts down into the hole, kind of like a reverse astronauts, if you will. And the team goes missing, and then we jump forward in time, and that's when the story really takes place. The main character, her husband was one of the members of that original team, and she wants to know what happened, and she'll do anything to find them again.
I love the baby with the sandcastle. I wanted to make sure we got that in. That is so awesome. So
that's a cool shot.
Right? The art's phenomenal. Great artist, great writer. Congratulations on the run with Recount. That was definitely an amazing thing. I've got my copies.
Appreciate it.
Let's check out this video of yours and see what you got going on. And remember, he's the guest, so there's no pause in this. We're going to watch the whole thing, guys. So sit down and buckle up. This is Quicksand.
I've always had a passion for comic books. The feel, the smell of them, and of course the stories. And I absolutely love storytelling. Hi, I'm Jonathan Hedrick, and I write comic books. Some of my titles include The Recount, Capable, and Freak Show Night. My newest book is called Quicksand, and it's a sci-fi horror miniseries I've been planning for years. The story begins with these monstrous creatures that attack a city in Egypt. After they wreak havoc on the people that live there, they run back into the giant hole in the earth near the pyramids from which they came. Soon afterwards, Canary One is formed, which is a team of experts in various scientific fields and military departments. They get sent into the hole to learn what these creatures are and where these things came from in order to prepare in case it happens again. But they never return. The rest of the series follows the wife of one of the members of Canary One, and she'll stop at nothing to get her husband back. Since the main character is a strong woman, I had to find an equally powerful artist for this project, and that was with Deborah Lancianese. Deborah is an Italian artist, and when I saw her work, I knew she was perfect for this comic book. She adds so much more to every panel. Sunil Gauger is the colorist. He's from India, and I've worked with him on several other projects, including Freak Show Princess and The Recount. Sunil is a workhorse. His colors are so beautiful, and that's why I bring him back on so many other projects of mine. I'm also working again with Christian Dokolomansky from Chile. He's the letterer, and I've worked with him before on the Recount and Freak Show Night. He's the man, and he really brings this to life. One of the things that excites me the most about this project is that all four of us are from different continents. I'm in North America, Deborah's in Europe, Sunil's in Asia, and Christian is in South America. It really is a global effort to tell this story. That's why this is my first campaign that's open to international backers. Thank you for taking the time to listen to me talk about Quicksand. I hope you all can take a chance on this comic book. I don't think you'll be disappointed if you do.
Felt like I watched like a documentary about your life there.
I know it was. That's the first time I've paid for a Kickstarter video. All my other ones, I've either called in some favors or just shot it with the built-in laptop camera. So I figured this time, let me do something different. Let me go all out. It's a new, it's a #1. And I've seen some other people really up their Kickstarter videos, so I wanted to give it a try. It was a lot of fun.
It looked, there was some good cinematography at the front of that. And of course, do you want to give a shout out to, I know the place that it got recorded, but do you want to give a shout out to where it got recorded?
Yeah, that's Kingdom of Comics in Melbourne, Florida. They're in my neck of the woods. Great store, great owners. Jason and Paula have always been supporter of my comic book creating endeavors, so really appreciate them. I asked them if I could film in there, and they had no problem with it whatsoever. They stayed late after the store closed for us to film in there, which I really appreciate.
That is fantastic. Now, let me ask you, when you have these multiple titles, because people ask me this same question, how do you pick how to set up your table? Because I'm wearing a shirt for the local Southwest Florida Comic Con.
Yeah.
Conventions are back. I'm sure you're going to be going to a couple in Florida because we have a lot. So, how are you going to handle the multiple titles? That's the question I get asked a lot when I do shows. How do I handle the multiple titles? So, how are you planning to handle that? 'Cause that's been a big question.
Yeah, that's a good question. I'm going to actually be at Pensacon on May 21st to the 23rd in Pensacola, Florida. Going there representing Scout, so that's going to be a no-brainer. I'm just going to bring my Recount stuff with me. But at a regular store signing, I just try to bring a mixture of everything. But when it comes to things like Capable, I have to really be smart about it because it can be judged really quickly by its cover. People might think that it's an all ages book, and oftentimes I get people that walk up to my table and say, "Oh, I have a disabled student in my 3rd grade class." I'm like, "Well, I don't think that would be appropriate for them. This is a mature reader's book," and I open it up and I show them some of the language just in case they need to be aware of that beforehand. And if once I've shown it to them, if they're okay with it, then yeah, I'll make the sale. But it's always been a practice of mine to make sure I can hand over a comic book to someone and they can open it up. I think a lot of creators will have everything, bagged and boarded, and that looks nice and crisp, but it's also changes the game when they can. A new person's not familiar with your work can start flipping through the pages and sees that interior art. And really knows what they're going to get into before they, buy something from you.
Oh, I absolutely agree with you on that. Mm-hmm. You've seen my table set up 90% of the time. I have books all over the table on purpose. I do board and bag them. I even pre-sign some of the books just when it's busier. It's just easier to do this pre-sign thing. And if someone asks me to sign it in front of them, I have no problem with that.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll share my signature with. I don't care, you know. What do
Yeah.
I? So I do suggest that everyone, if you're going to board and bag, at least have display copies. And I carry my display copies with me. I don't know about you, but I travel with my comic books in case I'm ever in a situation where someone asks me, "Hey, what comics do you create?" And I have them. I hope, by the way, I've been, hi Trish, I've been trying to fix the comments coming over because someone was saying that they were trying to make a comment and it's not working. I think I fixed it because Trish's comment's over here now. So let me know. Someone did ask on a different stream. They were asking about where they can get the recount.
Oh, that should be in any LCS or on the Scout web store. I would hit up those two places first.
What's an LCS for those who don't know? Just
your local comic book shop. So if your local comic book shop either sold out of them or never ordered them, then go to the Scout Comics web store and order it from them.
All right. Well, now you're not new to this. You've been on this show before. You know how we do it. So when you lose your interest, and Trish, if you want to jump on, if you're happy to jump on, our other guests could not make it, still caught it up the game. I'm happy that life has started again and we can say things like that. Someone is running behind because there's a sports activity or someone's out and about. But Trish, if you want to come on, just tell me. We'll send you the link. But for now, we're going to move on to our first plausible campaign of the evening, and that one's going to go to Jay Sloan, who gives us Stellar Odyssey. Here we go. You ready to watch the video?
Let's do this.
All right, just remember, raise your hand for a pause, and as soon as you do, we'll come back out and you'll get to explain why you had backer pause. I don't know why it wouldn't stop. Like I saw you and I hit it and it kept playing. So what's up? What got you to hit?
Well, the art looks great and it's edited, well with the cuts. But I think we got maybe a minute or so into it and still haven't, heard any narration or seen any dialogue about it. So it's beautiful, looks great, but I would have liked to have started learning a little bit more about what the story is, who the creators are a little sooner. And maybe it gets to it eventually, but I couldn't see how long the video was, or the length of it.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. And this is our last time seeing it. It's got great art. Just imagine someone actually talking. How awesome that would have been. Just, hey, guys, check this out. It's awesome.
Right.
I do believe they funded. It's got great art. And remember, I do like to say this when we're on these shows. Just because the video doesn't do everything we want it to, I ask, would the art have been enough for you to check out the rest of the campaign?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And, I see that this is a number 3. So obviously they're creating multiple issues of this series. So something's working. So what I would need to do is scroll down a little further in the story of the Kickstarter campaign, or this is on Kickstarter, right? I don't want to, see if is there a catch-up reward tier, since this is number 3 and I haven't heard of it before. And 2, does it explain what happened previously in the prior issues and how we got to where we are today.
Yeah, that's very important. And I used to make the joke, oh, does any campaign not have a catch-up tier? And then it happened. We found a campaign, it didn't happen. I stopped making the joke because it was a real thing. All right, so we're going to move on. That's a Stellar's last week. It actually ends tomorrow. So if you guys are interested in this, do not delay. Spend the time and get there right now. All right, so our next one's going to be from Silvio Spotty, who does an amazing job. This is a guy who's not remember, his first language isn't English, and apparently mine isn't either. So what he does next is amazing. I really have a lot of respect because it's hard enough to do these videos, as I'm sure Jonathan knows, because he's done a bunch now. But imagine doing it when it's not your native tongue. So a lot of credit to our friend Silvio Spotty for what you're about to see. Same rules. When you find a reason to pause, just raise that hand.
Word of Justice.
Hi there, I'm Silvio Spotty, creator, writer, and artist of Word of Justice. First, thank you for your support on issues 1 and 2. Your help was essential so that we could make this project a reality. This 3 issues miniseries is the first story arc detailing the adventures of Rena, Muriel, and Tenet as they continue their adventure on a future Earth. Now issue 3 is the staggering end. You don't want to miss that. It's a great battle. You have 3 great covers, 1 by Citizen, 2 by Rafael Angeles, 3 by me, interior color by always great Veronica Lopez, and Rafael Angeles is painted by Ivan Nunes, the great Ivan Nunes. As usual, we already have half of the book already inked and lettered, and the editor is, of course, John Taylor IV and Top Secret Press. The book will be delivered as fast as we can. So please, join this great adventure. Read, collect this Word of Justice.
Nice.
Said it and everyone else says we would have liked some more art because the art on this book is amazing. But he did a great job. That energy he kept that whole time, I love it. So what do you think?
I think he worked with what he was given. I have no video editing skills whatsoever, so I can appreciate the one cut, the oh, there's Chuck and Sean. But yeah, he had some art taped up in the wall behind him. He's holding the books. He's, like you said, he's very excited about the project. He worked with what he had, and I can't blame him for that. He kept it short and sweet as well. If he was talking for like 3 minutes straight and it was just the one cut, I think I definitely would have thrown my hand up a little sooner. Was it hard to understand him because of his accent? Absolutely, but I can't fault him for that. It would definitely have got me to read more about the campaign for sure.
That's awesome. That's all we can ask for as creators, right?
Yep.
New to the program, Dustin gives us greed. Now, let me tell you, I know some greedy people, and I'm sure you do too, in the comic book industry. So when I saw this, and I was like, I think I know that dude. The comic book creator. I've never seen this video, full disclosure. This is new. We've had Dustin on before. Dustin's a cool dude. So we're going to see about his video today. Jonathan gets to be the first one to watch this. I've never seen it. I didn't even pre-scan it because I know he knows better than to give me anything copyrighted music. Fingers crossed. Dustin, don't let me down.
How's it going, guys? My name is Dustin Burnell. I'm the writer and creator of Greed. Also the writer and creator of The Listener. I'd like to talk to you guys tonight about, or today as well, about how you've stopped by our Kickstarter. I really appreciate you checking it out. I'm going to give you a little intel on the book you're looking at. Greed is based on a 10-year-old boy in the world of The Listener in modern time, and the fact that he starts being able to see the things that the listener can. With no reasoning or rhyme behind why he can, he's trying to figure it out. And all of a sudden, out pops the monster under the bed. A wily smartass that's trying to get this kid to do stuff he really shouldn't be doing. But Oz has got a pretty good head on his shoulders. Probably gets that from his mom. You know, she's pretty smart. And these guys are all based on pieces and parts of my life, you know, in fantasy we've created along with The Listener. If you're a fan of the old Little Monsters movie, you'll probably enjoy it, or 80s movies and TV in general. It's a great time. It's also reminiscent of old action-packed cartoons, like Saturday morning cartoons that we all enjoyed as kids. We start getting into the spirituality of things and going over to the other side. You know, the other side is where gods and demons exist, and Oz finds himself over there frequently, also in really bad situations over.
I don't know why the pause isn't working. We're being joined by Sean, who I sent the link. What's going on, buddy? So,
hey guys, how you going?
What we're gonna get to you in a minute. What made you hit pause on this one particularly?
Well, I think it started out great. I love the motion comic feel to it, and I think that was enough for me to want to read more about the campaign, or even just back it at that point. Now, when he came in and started talking to the camera, I thought that was a good little extra, but I think that went on a little too long. I think maybe he was giving us some information that we would have got from the campaign story.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
What did you think, Sean? Before you introduce yourself?
No, I totally agree with what Jonathan was saying. So it started off great, but it did get to a point where, you know, I was watching the one before that, the swords one, and you mentioned Rob about keeping that energy, and that's what this one seems like a little bit more, you know, monotone type of thing, where the previous one, you know, really, you know, kept that energy throughout the whole video type of thing. So
I do want to give him a lot of credit, because the last time he was on the show, he hadn't had a video with the overlay. Like, he improved a lot. And I mean, I don't know how long it took you guys, but getting comfortable on screen, on camera, can sometimes be the hardest thing in the world.
Oh, absolutely.
I still hate it.
Yeah.
I'm up to my 16th Kickstarter and I still hate it.
Yeah.
So,
I get asked all the time, how am I comfortable on camera? I'm like, I'm not. I've made so many stupid mistakes now that I don't care anymore.
yeah, well, I have to say, on my last Kickstarter, like, I got brutally done on this show.
Yeah.
But
It was,
I tell you what, it really made me think about what I did for my latest Kickstarter video. So, you know, I hope people, when they see this, that they do take that feedback on board. It's not a personal attack. It's all about trying to make all of us better. And I feel myself that this show, you know, has really helped me up my Kickstarter videos, campaign to campaign, because, you know, sometimes you're like, oh, this is the best video I've ever done, and then people say, oh, well, this is where you're failing, and you kind of don't think of that because you're so wrapped up in the, oh, I think this is the best video I've done type of thing. So
yeah, and sometimes it's that feedback. I've done videos and I've had people like literally come, you pronounced one word wrong, and you're like, really? That's where we're getting stuck? And you know, when you hear that at first, you want to be like, you know, piss off. I'm not re-recording it for one thing, but then it starts bothering you, right, guys? Mm-hmm. You know there's one mistake, and now you're like, oh, there's a mistake in my video. Yeah. So, by the way, what we're talking about, this is it right here. He's on the program today, so we're gonna get to see his video and see how he did in just. if you want to go ahead and cue up what this is all about, go ahead.
Yeah, so the 13th labor is based on Hercules' unknown labor. So he actually has completed his 12 labors and finds out that he has no solace after he's finished his labors. So Zeus comes down and says, oh, we've got one more for you to do. And he hurdles him in time where his descendant is making fighting for Earth's survival, and he's tasked to training his descendant. So it's a bit of a mythology / sci-fi story, which is kind of my forte. It's beautifully drawn by Ottoro Mesa. It's written by David Gay. It's a fantastic story. There's a really good hook on the end of this very first issue, and the first 4 issues are completed. So what I've never done before is have a book 100% completed before going to Kickstarter. So this will be my quickest turnaround on a Kickstarter, because it's literally just being printed and sent out the door. So yeah, super excited about this. This is my first published series, so a series that I haven't had any creative involvement in, and that's something that we're going to look at doing moving forward, as well as offering other creators the opportunity to use our audience and use our brand to kind of bypass all of that initial creating an audience and that type of stuff. So yeah.
Fantastic. Now, just because you're here and because I've put you through so much hell, I figured we'd continue that trend. And we're going to play the video while you can see me and Jonathan watching it and critiquing it. So just for you, Sean, just for you.
What's up, everybody? My name is David Gay, and I'm here to talk to you about The 13th Labor.
And you guys can talk while it's live.
The 13th Labor is a fantasy sci-fi comic written by myself, illustrated by Arturo Mesa, and lettered by Tom Napolitano. The comic picks up just as Hercules, Greek demigod of swollenness, is finishing up his 12 labors. Labors that have taken years off his life, but have left him no closer to the peace of body and soul that he seeks after the death of his family. Never one to miss exploiting his own children, Zeus offers Hercules a final labor, one that will take him thousands of years into the future and will determine not only his fate, but the fates of everyone on Earth. The 13th Labor is a family drama wrapped in a bloody tale of gods and aliens. If you enjoyed comics like Jupiter's Legacy, League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, Thor, or movies like Immortals, Guardians of the Galaxy, even Little Miss Sunshine, stories where heroic accolades are earned, not given, then the 13th Labor is definitely for you. This is the very first printing for issue 1 of the 13th Labor, and we have some outstanding rewards for this campaign, including personalized sketches from the seriously talented Arturo Mesa, as well as 2 variant covers exclusive to this Kickstarter only. Thank you everyone for your constant support, and we can't wait to show you what's next.
It's the first time I've made it all the way through!
That was good.
That really was good. I really dig the motion comic feel. I mentioned in the other. Oh, there's more.
Oh, no.
No, that's just the same again.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think the motion comic look for these videos is probably ideal. I haven't done that yet myself because video editing and so forth isn't my forte, but I'm definitely looking into that for my next one. I think that's really clever. And this one didn't go on too long. It had narration over it. You got to see the sketches, character designing. I think that was really smart too. You know, what comic books or film you would compare it to. So all around, I think this is a solid A if I graded it from the school version of grading.
This is your best one, Sean. Now that you've set the bar, Sean.
As I said, man, this if people didn't know, the previous one we're talking about is Fractured Shards. It had a very movie type feel. So as you notice, we put this at the end, Rob, rather than the start, because the biggest part was, I wasted 30 seconds of my video at that very beginning, doing my logo, doing, some cool animation and stuff like that. when we didn't even talk about the book, where this one we delve straight into who created it and then straight into the book. So, this is the formula that I'll be using moving forward on all my Kickstarter videos. And if anyone wants help with these type of video creations, I've been very lucky to have a guy called Nathan Furigal who does all of these video animations for us. He's quite reasonably priced because he does understand, we are all indie. We don't have, buckets loads of money to throw at something, but it does have a more professional feel to it than anything that I could do, editing myself. So,
well, I don't know if you can stay for a couple of videos. If you can, you're more than welcome. I know I don't know what time you are actually. Is it like 3 a.m. where you are?
No. It's 11 o'clock. So my time. So I'm working from home. So yeah. But I thought I would jump on and say g'day and thanks very much for plugging the book as well. We've reached our initial target, so we're just now pushing towards some of those awesome stretch goals. So,
and I will say, putting it at the end after you've earned my attention span, I'm willing to watch that logo now, because now I'm excited for the product, as opposed to, oh God, why am I still watching this logo? Why have they not told me about the book? I have an attention span of a hamster, so. Well done.
Yeah, no, but look, I don't know if you can throw up in the chat that I don't even know which episode it was, but I found it really, at first after getting over the hurt and shedding a few tears and everything, it's a really informative show. As I said, it was pretty brutal, but it was a good brutal in regards to pointing out things, because the video itself looked great, but it did not grab people's attention and did not do what a Kickstarter video is to entice people in and to back. So you can have an awesome trailer style video, but unless you're captivating that audience, it's kind of a lost opportunity.
It was funny. I didn't mind that one. You had that really pretty creator who was on the video.
That is funny. I did notice you said that. I actually mentioned to Dan. So Dan Furigal is an actor off the Spartacus TV series. So that's who we partnered with that one. And I said, oh, you got compliments about the way you looked, but the video, and although the video is great, again, it didn't kind of do what this one did, which was explain the story, offer rewards, tell you what, if you like this, you'll like this, and then kind of wrap that up in like 1 minute and 30 seconds rather than a 5-minute video or something.
Yeah, no, well done. Honestly, this one was really well done. If you can stick around for a couple, stick around for a couple, but we're going to move on to Catch the Crazies. So let's see what Vera Sam is up to now. So brand new. I haven't seen this one. And he's another person who's used this show to mold his videos. So he knows he's going to be on, so I'm sure he's going to watch later. And it's true. I remember on one of those videos where you get beat up, I'm like, Sean's a friend. I'm going to be in a room with him. Stop. I got to talk to the guy again. He's a friend. All right, so let's see how Sam did.
If you can hear me, please help us to be the best podcast in the universe. I thought you'd never ask.
All right.
I almost almost raised my hand near the end of that. Yeah, it was a lot of imagery, and I think some of the parts that we were meant to read didn't stay up there long enough.
What do you think, Sean?
Yeah, 100%. It was interesting up until when he said, "Oh, please help me," and I was like, "Oh, that's kind of cool." And then I expected maybe a voiceover or something for them to go into pitch the campaign, but then it just kept on with the imagery, and I was like, "Oh, okay." And that's why I don't know if you heard. I did say pause.
Oh,
At
no,
that
you have to raise
stage.
your hand. Sorry.
Oh,
you
sorry. Yep. I should know that by now. Yeah, so I think that would have been a great point to jump on and start pitching the book. So because I'm not sure whether this is a comic book or whether this was for a podcast or whether it wasn't.
So
it wasn't kind of clear in that regards. I know it's a comic book just because I've been following the series and I know the creator. But yeah, I think that is probably the biggest one there. You talk about being the best podcast in the world, but then okay, is this about a podcast or is this about a comic book? I would have liked them to jump in there and done like a voiceover saying, welcome to issue 3 of blah 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 blah, and yeah.
The cool thing, I know Sam will have a different video. He changes the videos always during the campaign. So we'll see another one as we go. And the thing with him, and I know, it's a comic book about podcasters who are trying to be the best in the universe. They call out to the universe, and the universe makes them the best. But now there are these zombie guys who are trying to get them because they're so obsessed with them. So they have to catch the crazies. If they had something like that in there, that would have been so awesome. And you're right. The music sometimes, unless I'm at the gym, I don't need the music. I need give me the smoke, give me the information. Let me know why the battle cry is out there. But I'm sure Sam will bring up his game. I'm sure we'll see it very soon.
And Sam does videos and everything, so he's got a great voice. He's very well spoken. He's very clear. So I'm a little bit surprised that he wouldn't play into his strengths. That's what he's actually really good at. So.
I think it might just be the first video, release this one and then release another. We'll see. We'll keep our ear to the ground for a new one. This doesn't have a video, so this is Mnemonic Cases 1 through 3, Sleuthing Steampunk Spouses. Check it out. It's actually coming up on the end of its campaign on May 30th, so time is beginning to run out. We've been talking about this one for a while. Check it out today, and I believe this one, if I'm not mistaken, is on Kickstarter as well. And it's on Kickstarter just because of the way the back is made. I can always tell because when I have to manually write it in, it never has the other stuff in it. So I just end on a date. When it has a 2021, it's Kickstarter. It's a little cheat I leave for myself. So, all right, we're going to move on, and we're going to talk about, this is pretty cool. So Gamal Hennessy is giving us Resilience. It's a Creators Against COVID, an original anthology for charity. This is actually coming out through the Global Comics, and it's proud to be doing this. I want you guys to check it out. It's now on Comic Book Advocates, or you can find it over on Gamal Hennessy's page right now. This is an awesome thing that helps creators who have been battling against, what was COVID and how it affected the entire industry. It doesn't have a video because it's not crowdfunding, but it's going to be available in different places. Check that out today. Just a quick shout out to them. So I saw this and was amazed by it. Now we're going to move on to Steve Tanner's Harker. So this is Harker, and Harker is the Book of Solomon, Part 2, the gripping finale of the first Harker storyline. So let's check out what Harker is all about.
It's dark in here, Critchley.
Yes, Gov. Do you want me to turn the lights on?
No, this is more dramatic. Do you understand suspense?
Well, I know it's not suspenseful if you can't see anything.
Look, if we turn the lights on, people will spot us.
Ah, so we're doing this undercover?
No, if we're undercover, we'd be wearing ridiculous costumes.
Well, you're still wearing that ridiculous pandemic beard.
It's not ridiculous, it's distinguished. Also, shut it.
Yes, Gov.
We're going to find out who's been doing these Kickstarter projects about us, and then
I didn't learn shit.
Yeah, I mean, I was eager to see where he was going with it. Was he going to do like the jump scare? Like he was going to flick the lighter and then there was going to be someone standing behind him? And kudos for trying something different and unique. But yeah, the camera looking straight at your face or at the side of your face, it gets creepy after a while. It gets uncomfortable for the viewer, in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't know, Sean. There was nothing good about that. I have a sense of humor. I guess it's not a good one. Was it the English humor? Do I not understand English humor?
Yeah, for me, I would think that would be better as a warm up video. So like when you're promoting before you're promoting the Kickstarter and something like that. So something to intrigue people and everything. But as a Kickstarter video, as we said, it doesn't entice you to back the book. You don't really know what the book is about. So you really kind of have lost an opportunity there for people to look at your Kickstarter campaign. So I think the idea around it, I could kind of see what he was doing, but I would have used that more as a promotional video leading up to the Kickstarter rather than the video that I'm using on my Kickstarter.
Yeah, it could be a funny outtake at the end.
Yeah.
Do your video. Don't waste the backers' time. Remember, you're asking them for money. Your clever is not so clever when you're asking someone to help support you. You have to get to it and then make them laugh. Do the
Yeah, and you could use that for like updates or chucking it in at the very end, like down the very bottom of your page or something. Like, I don't think there was anything necessarily wrong with the actual video. Just it didn't do anything as a Kickstarter video to make you want to back the campaign.
Yeah. All right. So last question. Would either one of you have checked further based upon what you saw?
Probably not.
No.
That was a big miss. I was like, and I was curious going in because I hadn't seen it yet. And I was like, okay, it's funny for 2 seconds. Flash some art now.
Right.
Stop talking to some creepy guy in the room. Why is there a creepy guy now? Now I'm worried about someone touching me and being creeped out. This is torture. Matter of fact, let's move on to our next thing. Sorry, Steve. I hope you try again. This one I'm excited about. Bex Thomas, great creator. We've had him on a show before talking about the legacy of The View. And I don't know why this one is particularly off-center. I'll have to look at this. But here it is, Bex Thomas. And we're going to play his video for everyone right now. So away we go. This is The View. And why am I not seeing the video? All right. Give me 1 second. For some reason, the video is not here. Talks amongst yourselves first.
I have to say, first off, that is a great product image.
Yeah.
That straight away off the bat makes me interested straight away. There's a lot of images that are used on that, your Kickstarter preview and that just don't entice you. That image, I really like that.
Yeah, that's a good eye catcher right there.
Yeah, no, that is pretty good. And again, I don't know why the damn video is not playing, so I'm going to re-upload it. It happens one of like 100 times for some reason in StreamYard. I'll upload a video and you go to play it and it just doesn't play. So we're getting it right now. And again, I apologize for it, but he's definitely one of those creators who's got a ton of energy and is always doing a lot of stuff. So nothing but respect for this young man. And we might have to play this from our actual for some reason. I guess it's having trouble downloading too. I wonder if there's. All right, what we'll do, just because we're on a show and I don't want to stall us, we'll come right back to specs, and instead we'll look at Cindy Kep, her actual project, and we'll be right back for this one in a moment. So here we go, and this is Cindy's book, and this is, where's Cindy? The Animal. Here we go. Great art too on this one. So you guys ready to watch this video?
Let's do it.
All right, so Here is Animal Eye.
What if you could see the world like an animal? What if you could soar like a bird? Detect faint smells like a dog? What if a video game allowed you to play an animal character in a unique fantasy setting? What if a comic book series put you in such a video game setting, telling the story from the point of view of animal companions to human characters? Welcome to the world of Animal Eye. This comic book series will follow the adventures of 3 animal characters, Ala the crow, Vigid the dog, and JL the bear. Many fantasy stories feature animal helpers to human characters, especially horses or dogs, but sometimes birds like falcons, or in the case of Animal Eye, a crow. Fantasy-based video games do this as well at times, with human or demi-human player characters in the role-playing video game, with animal assistants in the game available to the main characters, as what are, in effect...
You guys tapped the same point. Talk to me. What you see?
That panel drag, right? That went on a little too long. There wasn't anything to really see. No words to read. It started off good. I was interested in the project. I think it took a step in the wrong direction when the character names flashed on the screen, but we didn't see what those characters looked like. I think that was a missed opportunity to, maybe have the name on the side with an image of that character.
What do you think, Sean?
I love how it started in regards to explaining it from both the animals' point of view and how video games and they're explaining that the comic's going to tell. But that could have been done in 3 or 4 sentences.
Mm-hmm.
When I tapped out, they were repeating exactly what they had said at the very start. It's like I already know. And it actually did interest me that this story is going to be from the animal's point of view. So I'm like, that's kind of cool. That's kind of something different. But they just kept on saying the same thing. It didn't actually get into what the story was going to be about. As Jonathan said, with the characters there, they didn't show us who the characters were, and it kind of, I said the first part really got me interested, and then when they said, they're going to tell the story from an animal's point of view, I was like, this is kind of cool, something different. But just went off in a direction that kind of, I think they missed an opportunity there.
And the image that we're seeing right here, I think that's showing the same thing 3 times isn't really that great of an idea. I get the idea they want you to know that there's a digital copy and a print copy, but that's kind of standard. I would think we see the words Animal Eye 4 times.
Yeah.
And from what I've heard with Kickstarter, giving out the project we love, they want as minimal stuff writing on that image for them to give you that stamp. So that could work against you.
Yeah, you could have done a beautiful splash page or something on the digital digital thing. So I agree with that. It's the same image 3 times. You've got an opportunity to show 3 different images there. And give people a really good look prior to even getting into your Kickstarter. So, yeah.
All right, guys, the view, everything's fixed. I think I know what happened. The video is a little bit bigger. It's sized one. Sometimes these have trouble uploading. So here we go. This is Legacy of the View.
What's up, y'all? This is Specs Thompson, the creator of Legacy of the View, and this is my Kickstarter for issue 3 of my comic book series. Hopefully by the end of this video, I can get y'all as a backer to help me out, boost my dream up, to get these books, these characters, and these stories that I fell in love with in y'all hands, so y'all can fall in love with them the same way I have. So let's go.
The Legacy of the View stars a high school sophomore named Chaz Johnson, who's an intern at his uncle's recording studio as a musical engineer. I chose to make him a musical engineer because I'm in the music industry as a DJ, and I want to incorporate aspects of my life inside my comic book series. So I chose to make him a musical engineer so that he can meet the different artists that I place inside my comic book world, as well, so that I can use different lingo that's used inside the studio, as well as different terms and techniques that's used as well, so the readers who's not familiar with the studio life or the aspects of the studio or the recording process can learn about it inside the Legacy of the View. So enough about that. So basically, Chaz became the View by being in the wrong place at the wrong time. He got stuck between the crossfire between the Howl and the Silent, which are the two villain groups in the story. And he got his powers by unknown circumstances from that crossfire that will explain his origin story later on. But right there in the picture, you can see how he uses his mask. He takes his shirt that he's wearing, he put it around his head, tied it up, and he got a mask right there, ready to go at any time. So yeah, y'all seen some panels, y'all seen some pages, y'all seen how Chaz transforms into the View, just right there. But I forgot something. I forgot to tell you about his powers. That main thing about him. So, with the powers of the View, he has the powers of creation. With the powers of creation, he's able to spawn items out of thin air that typically last 1 minute. But first, he has to know about them items. He can't just make items out of nothing that he don't know about. If you try to make a car, he gotta know how that motor works. Without that motor, the car won't work. But you know he does make? He makes a baseball bat. Because he's a baseball player. He knows the ins and outs of that baseball bat. So he used that baseball bat to whoop people's butts. And you can see that in pretty much all my issues, he used that baseball bat and he goes to town. And that's one thing about him. He knows his items, he used them beforehand. Because if he didn't, it won't work. They'd be too flimsy, too soft, and just be terrible.
Sorry, guys. Jackson.
No problem. I think Sean and I both tapped down a little earlier. Sean, you want to go first? I think you raised your hand before me.
Yeah, he's trying to say too much, he needs. Whenever you're doing a pitch, and I probably didn't do great when I was doing the 13th Labor before, but you need to be really clear and concise about what the story is about. You need to be able to say it in 1 to 2 lines straight away to hook someone in. And for me, it just kept on dragging on. Like he talked about the character was in a studio and he wanted to use the different language and everything. Need to be able to say that in one sentence rather than repeating, saying, oh, I wanted to do this and I wanted to do this and I wanted to do that. You can write that in the actual Kickstarter page. Your video, you want to keep short, concise. This is what it's about. This is his powers. You can get all 3 issues and, blah, blah, blah. And this is my point of difference. That just kind of really, dragged on. And considering I loved this image, I was like, it did not entice me to kind of want to go any further with the campaign.
Jonathan?
Yeah, I think it started out right with the energy. I like the simplicity of the holding the cell phone camera, talking to it like that. That's cool, like modern, younger take on pitching the comic book. But then I got confused when I started seeing the artwork in the studio because first thing I saw was this image right here. You see like this cool like ninja mask guy, and he's attacking something maybe with some bangs, I guess. But we're talking about in the studio. And I liked what he said about how he's incorporating like the lingo for readers that aren't used to that. But I think that wasn't the right time to talk about that kind of stuff. He could have done that maybe a little bit later in the video, saying how much he put his his life and stuff into the project. So yeah.
I heard more of it than anything. I loved the energy he had. That energy was great. I do agree with Sean. He's got to learn to pitch it real quick, real fast. This would be a great video as a lower part of it, like get to know more about the creator video. I was interested in some of the stuff, though, the fact that he's integrating these parts of his life. I would sit through a video like this because I just find it compelling and interesting. I love documentaries. I love the behind the scenes. But for backer pause especially, you got to be able to go, hey, check it out. This is who the dude is. This is what he does. This is how he does it. And this is why you want to be part of this. And that's, like Sean said, that's going to be 2 or 3 sentences. Like most of my videos, when you watch it, my pitch is right away, real quick, real fast at the beginning. I pitch hard and I pitch fast. And that comes from my time, and Jonathan will know this, with the Advocator, the time where you have to pitch so many stories at once, even the Continuum. You're doing 5-6 stories a book, so you get used to that. And especially, Sean, you weren't here for it, but you'd understand this when you go to shows. Every one of us have multiple titles, which is rare. Indie comic creators don't usually have multiple titles. Everyone in this room has a minimum of 4 titles at least underneath our belts published right now. Yeah. Each one of us in this room has that. So you got to know, and Jonathan had said this, you got to know your area. What's going to work in this area? What am I going to pitch in this area? So you have to have those things. So I love his energy. I've spoken to him. He's a great creator. I love the art. I love the style. I do think a quicker pitch would help him a lot more. Do that quicker pitch up on that top video. Hey, check it out. Like, I'm bringing all I learned in the studio into a comic book. That's a good pitch line, because now if you're into the life of rappers and music and you hear that, you want to do that. It's like when you hear the wrestling, and Jonathan knows this because we have a friend, John Crawford. He talks about bringing the ring into comics. Those are words to take you into it.
Yeah.
I hope he watches this video and goes, because I love the cadence he had. He was able to keep, like, almost up with the beat in a way that was awesome. If he can get his pitches out like that, he's going to do great.
Yeah. And the artwork is beautiful. Like, I'm a very visual person, so it's usually the artwork that grabs my attention before anything else. So, and the way he does talk to the camera, like, I could see him. And I don't know whether he does do this, but pitching this on TikTok. Like, if you can get a 30-second really good pitch with him talking like that and one piece of artwork or something, he could do really well with this, because he does have that natural feel of, like, when he was holding the camera, he didn't look awkward, he didn't sound awkward. He was like, hey guys, blah blah blah. It was how he felt and all that type of stuff. So yeah.
I'm actually using TikTok to teach comics now, believe it or not.
I've seen that.
Yeah, 60 seconds. If people ask me a question, I answer it in 60 seconds. So TikTok's for a creator, you guys got to start looking at TikTok.
Yeah.
That's going to be really, and I like TikTok because, this is going to be an hour of our lives, especially for me and Jonathan. TikTok, 60 seconds. That's my attention span right there. TikTok is my jam.
I just feel so old, mate. I hit 40 on Monday, and I'm just like, do I branch out to another platform?
Oh, I'm going to be the old guy. I said it this morning. Like, I realized, like, I'm that. When I say old school, I am old school now. I loved it. I'm like, get off my lawn. I'm old school now. Yeah.
Hey guys, but I have to run. I do apologize. Thanks for having me on, and I'll see you guys all soon.
All right, man. Great to see you, Sean. You finally got through it.
And I got a standing ovation. I'm pretty happy with that.
Yeah, there you go.
See you guys.
See you later. And believe it or not, that's perfect. We're wrapping up the show right now. 2 things coming to us soon. We're going to have on the show from Thomas Ryan, Tetulum, Chapter 1. And we're going to have from my good friend Claude Vallis. He's going to have Sacrifice. I'm looking forward to this book. Those will be on the show soon. Jonathan, tell them where they can follow you.
On Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Those 3 platforms.
And make sure to check out Quick Stand now on Kickstarter. Amazing looking book. I look forward to actually getting into it when I can, as soon as I'm not doing a show. Thank you all for showing up. Thank you, Jonathan. It's been a great hour that I've gotten to spend with you. You're awesome. Keep being awesome. I look forward to what your mind comes up with next. You're always impressing me and coming up with new ideas. That's it, guys. Jax is all right. I'm not going to deal with him. But remember, $1 can make a big difference. The power of a single dollar. One single dollar can help make dreams come true. Every dollar is a declaration of support and belief. It helps the creators and the teams behind the book. Just $1 helps create new worlds and keeps